I have always been fascinated by the idea of a free product. Don't you love it when you get something for free? A free slice of ham at the butcher, free shipping on your online orders, or basically every digital service like email and social networks. In the back of our heads, we all know that these products are not really free. For the butcher and for the online shipping, it's either part of the marketing or it's already calculated in the price. And we've all heard the stories that some digital services sell our information to give us tailored ads. There is no such thing as a free lunch. In these examples, someone else is paying so you can experience the product for free. But to truly get something for free, we would have to look at waste streams. And luckily for us, waste streams are everywhere. Remember the butcher? After slicing ham, there's always a tiny piece left. Or what about the grass when you mow your lawn? For a lot of animals, that could be a perfect lunch. I believe that recycling waste streams is the key towards our transition towards a more sustainable and eco-friendly future. And like I said, waste streams are everywhere. Unfortunately, using these waste streams is not always as easy as it seems. To give you an idea of the problem, you might have a personal computer or laptop at home. And when you're playing a video game or watching a movie, you can feel the hot air coming from your computer. And this is not just happening on your side of the internet. On the other side, there's also a computer feeding you the data. And these computers are stacked together in a giant warehouse, which we call a data center. Now imagine the heat coming from these data centers. And for these data centers, this heat is not just a waste product. They're actively trying to get rid of it. And to give you an idea of the scale of this problem, all the data centers in the world combined use the same amount of electricity as Germany. In my startup, we use the waste energy of a data center as a heating source for greenhouses. We use a technology which allows us to use the waste heat for the greenhouse, and on the other hand, make sure the data center is still okay with it. In our journey as a startup, we've come across 3 major factors to why we can't give away our waste heat for free. And I would like to share those with you. First of all is the scale. How much of this free product can I use? When you throw away your coffee cup on a recycle bin on the street, you wouldn't expect to pay for that. When it comes to our residential waste, we're already used to paying a small fee. And on an industrial scale, waste is traded around. Sometimes it's even paid for by the buyer as well as the person who wanted to get rid of it. And remember that grass from your lawn? If you'd really like to feed your animals with it, you would need a lot of grass. You would need to collect it from your neighbors, which also costs time and money. So here we see that the scale of a good can make all the difference in the pricing. Second of all, the usability. Will the process change when I take away the waste? When I was younger, I always wondered why we throw away so much heat in the chimney of our fireplace. Only 20% of the generated energy reaches our homes. The rest simply flows out in our chimney. Can't we use that as well? Later on, during my studies, I discovered that the hot air is not simply thrown out. As you might know, hot air rises. And as this hot air rises through our chimney, it also sucks in new, fresh air into the fire. So if we would use the heat from our exhaust, it would also mean that we would have to find a new mechanism to keep this airflow going. And last but not least, the extras. What cost do I have to make to use this waste effectively? And for us, this is the biggest challenge. In the beginning of this year, we already did a small pilot where we used the energy from a data center to heat up a small commercial building. To scale it up, we contacted a greenhouse. talked about the concept of using heat, and for the first meeting, everyone was excited. Until we explained that we wanted to use hot air in a greenhouse. In 1 minute, we went from a great business idea to almost being kicked out by a customer. Turns out, it's really difficult to keep an even temperature in a greenhouse when you're using hot air. So now we have to make hot water instead of hot air, which is a costly endeavor. But even if we would have been able to use hot air, like we did in our first pilot, we would still need hardware to transport this heat from our data center to the greenhouse. And what's more, the process is now relying on us to deliver that heat. If the data center is not running for some reason, we are still responsible that the greenhouse is heated. I've shown you that the factors scale, usability, and the extras are all cost factors in recycling. And these factors are the reason why we can't give away our waste heat for free. And the goal of my talk is, on one hand, to give you a small insight into the world of recycling. But my main goal is to make you aware of the fact that recycling isn't free. In most cases, recycling can be cheaper than buying new products. And almost always, recycling is the most eco-friendly method of production. And if we want to be successful in our eco-transition, we have to take into account that recycling is a cost factor. And that's where you guys come in. You have the choice to buy the right products. Thank you.